XD45 Subcompact. Slightly encrusted with ice. I expect it to be 100% reliable. This will be shooting, I think, MagTech. Look how crusted up it is. Oops. Dropped it again. Dude. Course 100%. Oh, that shoots good. Shoots really good. XD45 Subcompact. I love XDs. Dang, this is a good gun. First things first, I have been carrying concealed pistols since 1994, licensed in every state I've ever lived in. Nowadays, I am close, not quite, but close to 100% carrying some type of combat handgun, some type of subcompact handgun to take care of biz, if and when it happens. Talked about it lots here on the channel. A funny thing is happening though in my own carry systems, and it may surprise you guys. I am opting for more powerful calibers. Now I know some of you guys will go, hey man, I've always carried a powerful caliber. Online you have, not in my gear checks. The biggest caliber I've ever seen anyone carrying on my gear checks is 9mm. And I just posted another gear check video on the B channel. You should sub and watch all those videos too. By the way, those guys did great. They passed with flying colors. Both had 9mm. I don't see anything larger than that. Not saying guys don't do it. I just, in years and years of gear checks, haven't seen it. I do these days. I really do. I frequently carry a 10mm these days and a Galco rig. Talked about it. There's a video on those shoulder holsters if you're interested. Now, this is the XD45 Subcompact Mod 2 that we're going to be talking about reviewing, and I will be recommending to you. And it is, of course, chambered in 45 ACP. For the last couple hours, I've been going through my notes on this gun, reviewing the video that I took of it out in the desert, a little bit on the range. There's not a ton of video, but enough to get the flavor. And I remembered how much I loved shooting this gun, number one, that it's soft recoiling. I think the follow-up shots came relatively quickly for a 45. And it's accurate. It was totally reliable. And I think I'm going to buy it and integrate it into my own carry system. If you're new to the TMP gun show and everything else I do here, I think the bottom line for any of my tabletop reviews is if I really want it and I integrate it into my own system, then that is about as big and as resounding of an endorsement I can give you. And the XDM Subcompact reaches that level. The carry load that I'm going to be integrating, just because I got them for what I thought was a fair price, was a Hornady 45 you're looking at right now, plus P, 200 grain XTP. I think XTP bullets are extremely accurate. They feed reliably. I've been using them for years. I love them. They're not some high-tech edition, but damn, son. Approaching 950 feet per second, penetrating about 18 inches of ordnance gelatin, this is a load to be dealt with. That is a big caliber in what I think is a very carryable package. The XDM45 Subcompact. Years ago at a trade show, I talked to Rob and the guys at Springfield Armory. We did a little visit with them, and that's when the XDS45 came out. But that really, for me, never cranked my wheel. I love the XDS9. I have one of those in my system, and I've been carrying that forever. But the XDS45 single stack at 5+1 just is not enough rounds for me. And this surprisingly has, I don't know, gained my favor. When I first checked it out for review, I was like, yeah, it's cool. I love the XDM series. I want to show you a couple other pistols we've talked about through the years. But I don't know if I picked it up initially and go, oh my gosh, this is so sweet. However, after shooting it again, testing it, and reminding myself how much I love basically what is the updated HS2000, the Croatian-made HS2000, dude, I'm down. I'm down. If you're wondering, if you're in a hurry and you're going to come back and watch the rest of the video later, I'd totally give you a fist bump for integrating XD45 Subcompact into your own systems. It is awesome. Awesome. Now, we did mention super quick, and I would love to rip through this review if I possibly can. The XDS45, that's one. And there are so many versions of the XD, XDM, it gets confusing. You really have to go to Springfield Armory's website, spend some time, figure out which one's best for your system. I know a lot of guys coming to this video will already own them. And I don't know, I'm not going to tell you which one's best, but I really like this one. It is, you know, called, of course, the Mod 2, because that's the cool way of saying version, apparently, these days. It's kind of militaristic. So if you say mod versus version, it's marketing. Then guys will think you're more serious, and it's cooler. Version 2 doesn't sound so cool, I guess. But there's other versions of the XD45 that might suit you better than this one. It just depends on your philosophy of use, which I guess we'll rip through right now. Concealed carry for me all day long. That's what it's going to be. And I'm going to show you dimensionally. Do I have it? I guess right now, against a similarly sized competitor, although it's a 9mm. This is coming out of an active carry system, so it's loaded, and I just don't go through the hassle of unloading it because it's going to go right back in the holster. Glock 19 Gen 4. Now let's look super quick at the dimensions of the XD45 Subcompact. So it's shorter, and this is something that really I don't know, caught my attention. It was very surprising because when I was first looking at the XD45 Subcompact, I looked at it and I went, you know, this is really kind of a chunky gun. I was like, I don't know, you know, I'm carrying a freaking Glock 20, so I'm one to talk, right? Not all the time, sometimes. But when I started weighing it, measuring it, which is 30 millimeters across, which is about 1.18 inches, I was like, dang, that's the same as a Glock 17, a Glock 19. And it is, look. And this is 45 9mm. Now, this is not to say I don't trust 9mm at all. I love 9mm with the modern loads which are provided to us. I think it's extremely effective. You get high rounds counts. It's size efficient, especially weight efficient for WROL. I've always said that in a combat handgun. But this is actually with a rule of law carry system, 45 ACP. In that application, I don't really need my ammunition to be super light. Not super light because I'm around town. I'm in rule of law. It's when I start integrating backpacks, additional survival supplies, that I'll go with something more size efficient like a 9mm. I've said that many times, have been extremely consistent on that presentation. That's me though. But when I started looking at this, I was like, that's actually smaller than a Glock 19, dude. And I think the Glock 19 is a very size efficient handgun, go to war handgun. A lot of people carry it concealed. I've gear checked a lot of guys running G19s. but this is just a quick look. So basically, in most dimensions, it's smaller than a Glock 19. How cool is that? Carry gun, home defense. Yeah, it's got a rail on it. I didn't really fit a light to it. I'm sure you can find something that would fit. It's probably going to stick out a little bit right here from the muzzle. Truck gun, it'd be too big for me and too heavy as a motorcycle tank bag gun. I've got other more SAWC efficient guns for that, like G43 goes along. That's a system where I'm counting ounces, you know. That being said, I don't run a Glock 19 or 17 in that system either. If there's not enough room in the tank bag, I think you get that. Women's handgun. Could it be used as a good carry system for your gal? Well, that really depends on your gal and if she's willing to integrate, which is still, I wouldn't say it's huge, but it's, you know, it's a sizable platform. There's a lot smaller options, which I think most women would prefer. 380 options, definitely. The loads for 380s are much better. Shield, Glock 43, Glock 42, the SIG 238, 938, the list goes on and on of great carry options. But the benefit of this is, yeah, it's a huge bullet launcher, 45 ACP, which I'm a fan of. I like 45 ACP. It's just short, fat, and a little bit heavier and fewer rounds. We've talked about that a lot. But it shoots so soft. That's where I'm going.
Very good pistol.
You might be surprised, like all XDM pistols, of how well she'll shoot this gun, even though it's 45 ACP, even though it's somewhat, not totally, diminutive. Have her shoot it. If you can go to a range and rent an XD45 subcompact, you may be surprised. She'll probably outshoot you with it. The question is, will she integrate it with high percentage of carry? That is a big if, because if it's too fat in this dimension, too heavy, and this is portly when it's loaded up. Loaded up, it's 2 pounds 1 ounces with these loads, with this magazine. It's not super light, but again, these days, like I'm saying, I'm kind of going towards the firepower side of the equation, firepower versus mobility. I'm opting for a more harder hitting caliber. Okay, that's just me. We'll leave POU there because I had a cruise. SAWC design and ergos, 3.3 inch barrel. It's going to have a little bit less metal than the 9mm version, which is totally adequate. By the way, I've shown it a lot, talked about it, used it as a competitive option as a cast member for years. The XDS 9mm is just sick. I mean, that gun, and this one is no different. This is a gun you can actually hit out to, I'm talking like a torso-sized target, easily. I shouldn't say easily, it's never easy, but you can hit out to 50 yards. The XDS, I proved that in multiple subcompact, I called it the Pocket 9mm Shootout series of videos. You can go look those up. This is the same way. You'll see some of the insert footage where I'm basically doing it with this gun. 45. Oh my gosh, I love it. Let me start forward and I'll go aft. I already talked about the barrel. It's cold hammer forged, super quality. This pistol, as you can see, made in Croatia. It's a good looking gun too, don't you think? I do. We talked about the rail. The takedown lever is the same. The slide stop lever is the same that we've seen in other XD series of pistols. I'm talking the location. Milling might be a little bit different. Actually, it's an investment cast part, I do believe. Big enough trigger guard, slightly squared, cool undercut on the polymer frame. And then we have an ambidextrous magazine release. That's all good. Let's bounce back to the trigger super quick because I really like XD triggers. Let me get the bad out of the way first, and this is just my preference. And I'm going to roll in, like I said I would, a cast member. Here comes an XDM9 shown several times in the project. Man, I love this gun. 19+1. There's other 9mm that do that as well at the same weight, or even a lighter weight. But man, can I hit with this gun? It's amazing. And what I was going to tell you about the trigger, and this gun has the same thing, is that it just pulls more to the rear. So I'd really like it to break further in the trigger guard. For me, you have to always pull the XDs further aft. Is it a big deal? Not really, but it's just a little bit of annoyance. Reset on this one. All the XDMs, including this one, will be the same. So we have to just go a little bit aft with it. Right about there. It is what it is. There's trigger kits for, I mean, there's all types of accessories for XD series of pistols. You could change things if you wanted. Metal trigger, by the way, which I love. Incidentally, I had one that was not metal. That is the safety lever inside the trigger. Watch for that review. And it snapped off during cold weather shooting. I'm not even kidding you. No, I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. I don't want know what order I'm going to post these. No such problem with this. I will say, and this is kind of jumping ahead to reliability, I've just have come to respect and trust in the XD series of pistols pretty much to the same level as Glock, to the same level as Smith & Wesson, Walther, PPQ. They're just so excellent. I see so very few problems with them. I can't even remember any, actually. They just work. So, and the trigger, by the way, breaks at a very respectable, on my scale, 6 pounds, 8 ounces. They call it the Ultra Safety Assurance, the USA trigger. I'm laughing because Springfield Armory's marketing sometimes just, oh my gosh, they just come up with these names. They got to market it somehow, so they're just kind of every company does it. It's not just Springfield. Bless their hearts. Going to the top of this slide here, take a look. It looks very, I don't know, Glockish, if you will. Also, Walther PPS-ish, if that's a way to describe it. Got the Springfield Armory logo on there, which is cool. Loaded chamber indicator. This will rise up when you have a round loaded. Then you have a striker indicator. That will be visible when you have a round loaded as well. And here's your sights. I love them. They're just clean. They're the same ones we saw in the XDS. These days I'm saying I don't like the light pipes up there. I don't. They do fail on you under heavy use. Heavy use, for instance, would be you come out of the truck and you smack it right here and you crack that off. I mean, that's totally exposed. It has to be to gather a light and become visible, right? And no gun is going to be absolutely perfect. And if you don't like it, you can always swap them out. If I remember right, though, swapping these XD sights out is a real bear. Man, it is a mother. I'm just going off memory, but I think it was difficult. I could be thinking of the Smith & Wesson series. I totally forget. Now, here's your grip zone. More marketing. But it's actually pretty cool, right? In the mod, too. So here we have the XDM in the back, and I have decal grip or something like it that is actually die cut in the recesses of the blocks of this XDM, and it's okay. With the decal grip, it's more than okay. It's perfect for me. I mean, I didn't go and get a custom stippling job because this is good. It was cost effective. This one is so cool because it really looks like it was laser stippled or something. Ray and I were talking about that. Friend of mine. And it provides pretty good traction. Do I feel like it could be better? Probably. One place I don't want stippling is right here. I don't want to be abrading the thumb if I'm gloveless. But maybe more on the side would be good. I'm sure there's some aftermarket things that would even insert right here, or you could put some A grip or something like that. Grip safety still on the XD series. I just live with it. I don't like it. I've never liked it. The thing about the XD grip safety, which is nice, is that it's so lightly actuated. It's really not a problem. That you never are really cognizant that you're actuating a grip safety. So you actually, this is an ultra safe pistol. You have one in the trigger face and you have a grip safety as well. And the other ones integrated into the XD design. You can look them up. That'll take us to firepower, which is actually a very substantial 9+1 with this flush fitted magazine. Stainless steel body, high quality like we always see from the Springfield pistols. Super excellent. And then coming with the pistol as well is a 13 rounder. What? That is awesome. So thank you, Springfield Armory. They have clued in that this is a really elegant and actually smart carry setup right out of the box. So you're going to get a flush mounted, which you would carry with you, and then your extra magazine included in the packages is a 13 rounder of this very effective cartridge, the 45 ACP. Now, I don't know if I hit it, but I'll hit it now. I did talk about the loaded weight of this. It's substantial, 2 pounds, 1 ounces. But get this. Where'd that 19 go? It's about the same weight as this. In fact, it wasn't a 19, it's a Glock 17 with a +2 base plate. I took it out of the holster tonight, weighed it. It was 2 pounds 3 ounces. This with a flush fitted magazine, not this one, 2 pounds 1 ounces. So they're basically the same weight. Yes, you're giving up some rounds, but you're going with more, in my opinion, a harder hit. I was going to say firepower, but we're really not talking about firepower. We're talking about a harder hitting caliber. We'll just say that. Yeah, so that's pretty good. So it's 6s. When I looked at how much I love shooting this, how accurate, reliable it was, and then I looked, hey, it's the same weight of a gun as I'm already carrying. And I get 45 ACP. Let's try it. It's a good experience to go do that. You'll see it's a double captive recoil spring like we see in all these polymer designs nowadays. And I think that's the majority of the stuff. Lefties, like I said, you got a mag release here. These controls, of course, remain on the left side. Go figure. Magazine insertion and dropping was painless. There were no, that I can remember. Of course, I was gloved in really cold conditions most of the shooting. No pinches on the heel is what I'm trying to say. Just like this gun. Oh, and I've got one more I'm going to show you. Do you guys remember once upon a year when I reviewed the XDM525 9mm? Woo! Like that gun too. That's cool. This one has just come out of our shop. It is Patriot Brown now. Sick! I love that. Very, very cool. This is a great long slide 9mm option. 29 ounces. I write that for review purposes. Easy to remember. So not enough room for him on the table, so we got to go. Let's go to track record super quick, and then we'll bounce to accuracy as we rip through. Track record, as I can remember it, so many guns, and really we're pushing the gun show, like we're cranking. We are cranking. I have like 10 videos I could upload tonight. But I think it was flawless. I don't remember any problems with it, and that's after burying the XD45 in the snow. It was 8 degrees that night. Having it snow packed. I think I have video footage of that, and I'll show you, and it was just working. You'll find that most people will echo that sentiment. Of all the XD series of pistols, they're extremely reliable. Yeah, you'll have some problems in all mechanical devices, but it's about as good as I know it can get, which is saying something. That it survived the curse of the TMP desert, yo. Accuracy. One thing I forgot to do is shoot paper for you. Oh! I'm not delaying the tabletop for it, though. I do remember that I hit all the steel I was shooting at, mostly. And I would assume it's going to be just as accurate as all the other XD stuff I've shot. To include the XDS9, it's basically the same type of pistol, just a different caliber. Which is to say, within 7 yards, I can probably get easily into that orange square that I always show you guys on my targets. That is about 1.5 inches, standing, unsupported. 25 yards with a really good shooter, albeit it has a short sight radius. I think we could group them like that all day long with a really good rest all day long. You know, if you really, really take your time and someone who has good sight, I'm saying vision, maybe about like that. You know, maybe into a fist size. That's really good for a subcompact pistol. I will say, from what I know about the XD series, this gun will inherit it. Accuracy is excellent. Field strip, I'm not going to go through it. Same as it's always been. Super easy. Super easy. I love XDs, XDMs to field strip. They're just easy. I'm saying that because some of the guns I've been reviewing lately, albeit they've been pretty good, they just have kind of a strange field strip that it's different. You know, recoil systems are different. I have been mentioning accessories all along of what you might get. What I'm going to get, since this will be a carry pistol, is I'll probably get, I'm deciding whether a flush mount magazine or another one of these for sure. I'm not doing anything with the sights. I'm not doing anything with the trigger. And I'm going to get a holster, which leads us to this discussion. I did spend about a half hour researching holsters for the XDM45 Subcompact. And again, we get into the confusing variants of the XD series. You got to make sure you're ordering the right one. I'm not going to carry this inside the waistband. IWB, you guys might. I know most of y'all do. It's just, like I said, it's basically the same thickness of a Glock, so it's totally doable. But for me, I'm carrying it in a shoulder holster. That system just works for me, and I just use it mostly. I clicked around. Galco has like a component set up for it. I didn't really see anything Galco was offering specifically for this gun. You could buy the holster, the straps, and then mag carrier separately, and it was like $200. I love Galco stuff. I'm not doing that. Alessi has one for about $240. Mitch Rosen has some. Safariland, I clicked around, but I'm really not sure if they make it specifically for this gun. It'd always be better going to a store and see if they had it and see if it fit. If you could do that, you know, one of their XDM45s, if they have it. What I ended up doing is ordering one, and I haven't got it yet. It's going to be 6 weeks out. Craft holsters for $150. That, I'm pretty sure, and I put a note in there when they're making it, is set up for specifically for the XD45 Subcompact. I'll let you know either on Twitter or in a review of how that one works. But it's leather. It looks like it's quality. I thought the price was reasonable. Craft holsters. There you go. And some other accessories. Again, the XD market is big. It's extremely successful. It's prevalent, which is always what you want when you go out searching for accessories. But I might put something on the side here for traction. But then again, as a shoulder carry, I kind of like this portion slick where it's rubbing up against my t-shirt, so it's not grabby. Just me. Value and options. I think the money you're going to pay for this, totally worth it. I think it will retain its value if you ever want to sell it, as long as you take good care of it. I'm not going to go into competitive options very much because I cover that so much. And again, I'm making my videos shorter these days, which I like, and I think some of y'all like too. You know, the 45 ACP is such a great caliber. I mentioned the drawbacks of it, and every caliber is going to have a drawback, and nothing is perfect. You, as the shooter and as the user of the caliber, just have to decide what do you want to carry. When you get a platform like this that does it for me in all the attributes that are important to me, accuracy, reliability, SAWC, and I get, you know, a 200 grain plus P XTP bullet launcher, dude, I'm down. I'm down. The only thing I'll say, and I don't want this to be a huge caliber conversation, because it'll never come to an end, but I do like 9mm better for obstacle penetration. Car doors, glass, 9mm, especially plus P and certain loads, they really get it done better. But for man stopping, it's just proven. You guys know that. I like 45. That doesn't mean, by the way, I'm going to quit carrying 9. I said that already. I really want to foot stomp that, though. Not at all. For instance, this will come along all the time. The 19, the 26, the 43. Heck, I'm carrying a 226 these days in a shoulder holster. So I think I can probably mount up the 2-pound, 1 ounce SAWC of the very excellent and highly recommended SA XD45 Subcompact.